is great to be standing here today to discuss with you a topic that I consider the guiding principle of everybody's life. It is also the key to one of the most crucial questions that you need to answer. Who am I? And by that I mean today I want to discuss with you about the identity, the self. So to begin with, I want to tell you the story of mine. For a very long time, I was struggle to identify myself. My existence makes no meaning to me, and I only live because people around me want to. Thereby, I tried desperately to fit the expectation. But the more I try, the more I feel exhausted. I built up hundreds or even thousands versions of me. At my traditional home, I am a good kid who have nothing related to the word rebellious. At school, I try to act like a great student who is outstanding, active, and have an endless source of energy. But those are just too typical of me. I also have the sympathetic me who can cry within 2 pages of a sad book, or the shy me that don't want to be the center of any situation. However, all of those versions represent me, but none of which are me. So for a very long time, I lived desperately and felt lost. And by that, we call an identity crisis. I did try to get myself out of that situation. To do that, I tried to make all the versions of me consistent by picturing who I want to be in the future with perfect attitude, great characteristic, the one that I believe I can show. However, the more I try to fit in that picture that I have set up for myself, the more I feel lost, as I know that is not me, but there's no such chance for me to turn back and to solve the situation. Luckily, in the dark phase of my life, I have a chance to meet up with one of my lecturers. I told her how sad I was and how much I hate my life. Rather than keep telling me that, just keep trying and everything is going to be fine. She told me that it is great that I know I am not perfect, because those imperfections are what defines me and makes me so special. At that moment, I realized that finding the self, identifying who you are, has never been about seeking for the perfect version, but it is more about accepting your true identity, accepting your imperfect perfection. It might seem simple, however, it is not. As Hagen, a famous American psychologist, have stated in his theory of self-presentation, that the presentation of self is a combination of exhibition, performance, and personal achievement. Thereby, our identity is basically a collaboration between the social construction and symbolic interaction that is flexible due to times and context. Most of the time, people will try to adjust themselves to the belief of who they should be in order to fit in the expectation of society, of a certain groups or a certain context. The more we try to fit in, the more we try to adjust, the more we get far away from our origin and we get lost from our identity. And by that, you're going to be stressed out, as you're going to realize that no matter how much you tried, your identity, the self that you have set up, can never fully satisfy the society. Meanwhile, there's no way back, as you cannot find the root of the problem. Thereby, it is crucial to note that finding the self is never being about finding and seeking for the perfect version among the hundreds of versions, but it's more about accepting your imperfect one and improve it. It is crucial because only by accepting that imperfection can you know who you truly are and can improve yourself in the most unique and special way that fits you the best. Moreover, only by accepting that imperfect version of yourself can you start learning how to love yourself. However, it is not that easy just to accept. As social creatures, we are living in a society that's full of rules and beliefs, which then turns into social norms, the constraints that force us to obey. By systemizing those beliefs, turning the ideal standard of a group into the compulsory rules that can never be broken, turning the special and unique one into the odd one that would be left out, that society seems to be impossible for us to escape, to free ourselves to find our old identity. because it is too afraid to be done. Thereby, to some extent, we are afraid of losing people's acceptance even more than losing our own acceptance. But you know what? Finding your own identity and identify your true self is not only important to you, but it is valuable to the whole society. Just imagine a world where everybody fits in the perfect mold, where everybody is exactly the same. That's world gonna be terribly boring. Just imagine if your new boyfriend is the exact same of the ex one, or maybe your best friend is just like the mini version of your parents. How horrible it is, right? Thereby, identifying yourself is important because the true world should never be like that. It should not be the identical of everybody. It might be chaos, it might be a little bit disorganized, but it is unique and it's diverse. And that makes life worth living. And that's what makes the world an amazing place. And you, I, everybody of us can be a part and can be a constructor of that amazing world just by identifying ourselves. However, it must be noted that identifying yourself and accepting your imperfect version doesn't mean you never need to improve yourself. It is more likely to be that you know it is totally normal if you're imperfect and you are still need time, you are still struggling to make yourself better. It is to know that your imperfection is unique in their own way and to know that the world is a happy place thanks to those imperfections. So let's start the journey of finding yourself today, because the answer to the question of who you are has never been laid on the perfect version that you have always been seeking for. But it is in you, it is in the imperfect perfection that you have always got. So let's start this journey today by start loving yourself. Thank you.